In the jungles of flaming ego, may there be cool iceberg of bodhicitta. On the racetrack of bureaucracy, may there be the walk of the elephant. May the sumptuous castle of arrogance be destroyed by Vajra confidence. In the garden of gentle sanity, may you be bombarded by coconuts of wakefulness.
I was overcome spontaneously with an overwhelming sense of my own death a few weeks ago and realized I was still quite unnerved by the whole thing. And I was surprised to learn that research shows, at least in the United States, that people far more than fear of death, fear of public speaking, causing Seinfeld to ponder who has it worse at a funeral, the person in the casket or the person giving the eulogy. So it is with true admiration that I invite our student speakers up to share with us today. Representing the students receiving their bachelor's degrees this year is Emma Arbor. Is fiercely passionate about combating racial and socioeconomic inequalities in the legal system and will be attending Emory University School of Law next year. In public defense, she currently teaches a class on mental health and nutrition at the Boulder County Jail and is very enthusiastic about tattoos and hedgehogs.
Graduation to celebrate with us. I applied to Naropa December of 2012, and about this time 3 years ago, I received my rejection letter from Naropa. I've been kind of drifting around Portland for a while, and after this letter, I just wallowed and moped. I had absolutely no idea what I was going to do with my life from there. After about a month of this, I got over myself, and I decided that I was going to go to Naropa in the fall. I acquired 3 letters of rec, received good grades my final semester at Reed College, rewrote my application essay, and reapplied for the same admission cycle. In the fall of 2013, I finally began at Naropa. Any grown-ups who said that my aspirations may change when I was in college, but lo and behold, once I got here, my aspirations changed. Instead of pursuing psychology to be a therapist in prisons, I am now attending law school to be a public defender keeping people out of prisons. I'm graduating with a degree in contemplative psychology with minors in creative writing and peace studies. And I've taken the one law class that Naropa offers. So you can imagine the challenge I felt when applying for here to law school. When I was writing my admissions essay, I tried to focus on the ways that my Naropa education gave me a really unique edge in any further academic endeavors. gone through at least one midlife crisis. I'm not talking about the stereotypical college student existential crisis that occurs when you're stoned in your bedrooms. The past 3 years, it has felt like Naropa has been spring cleaning my person. Oh, you have some dust bunny shadows tucked away there in that box you locked. I'm just gonna open it, give the contacts a little sunlight, and now you get to address the psychological mess that has accumulated over your entire life. Let me elaborate on the active role that I've cast Naropa in here. I've never thought of Naropa as a school. It has always been like a living organism to me. When I'm annoyed at Naropa, it feels like one of my friends has an affinity for breaking printers, not responding to my very important calls. Yeah, you know the struggle with printers. Or pushing me just a little bit too far over my edge and out of my cocoon. It's this magical breathing creature that is sometimes so incredibly aggravating that I wonder if we're even friends. And then I remember the magic. How the only reason I'm attending Emory next year is because I mentioned in the class introduction my aspirations to be a public defender. And one of my classmates came up to me after, telling me I should connect with her friend at Emory who's also going into public defense. I didn't even know where Emory was before this conversation. Now, what seemed like just a crazy synchronicity, I'm not just attending Emory next year, I'm also rooming with the friend of the girl who told me about this. Every semester, I hear my classmates discuss this insane synchronicity. I hear comments like, it's like all my classes are coordinated. All my final projects seem to be on the same thing. When writing my application to law school explaining the significance of a Naropa education, I mentioned the artful division of each of my semesters into themes. My first semester was about opening. During my first warrior exam, I was asked a question about compassion, and I figured, I can speak about compassion for 3 minutes. I don't really need to prepare for this. During the exam, the questioner asked me, where have you never shown compassion in your life? In that moment, I realized for the very first time that I had never had compassion for my little sister. And then I broke down crying in front of an entire class of students that I barely knew. I'm going to skip forward to my next year because I don't have time to get into every awesome theme. I just want to give you guys my favorites. My third semester at Naropa, I engaged in a transpersonal practice where I recorded myself essentially rambling so that I could try and play therapist for my recordings. Like so many of you, I come from a past of deep pain and depression. But through this recording process, I actually cultivated a deep love for myself. And during one tearful recording, I recognized aloud this self-love for the very first time. And then I played it for my transpersonal class. My third semester was about accepting the person I had discovered the previous year. Going to skip again to my fifth semester, where I took a course called Embodying Process. And in the very first class, we had to dance freely to music, which was terrifying. So terrifying, actually, that in my senior seminar class that same semester, when I was asked to authentically present myself for 30 minutes, naturally, I chose improvised movement and dance as my medium. That semester was about being in my body. These experiences materialized because of the power of Naropa to challenge its students to discover and know themselves. This is what I presented as the unique value of my Naropa education in a left brain field. I know myself, and I absolutely love who I am. Stable foundation of self that allows me to tackle any challenge from the strong and compassionate place of the Shambhala warrior. In my application to Emory, I wrote about how Naropa students are some of the most passionate individuals that I have ever met. When we hear, you can't change the system, we recognize a lack of evidence in this claim. I explained to the admissions committee that I am not just some individual curious about racial injustice in the I am an individual who will be instrumental to changing the entire system. I know that I am committed to goals that seem idealistic, and I am going to accomplish them. Nearly every Naropa student I have met has a structurally violent system that they are going to change. I want to recognize and honor all of you guys who've been so instrumental in changing Naropa through your courage to be yourselves. I also want to offer my gratitude to all of you who've been involved in changing the world outside of Naropa through teaching and acting in the Shambhala warrior spirit. As we graduate today and move off in so many different directions, I wish us all perseverance and strength in our quest. At times, our deep compassion and passion will cause us to struggle in a culture that is so often disengaged. Our calling as Naropa students is to go forth with resilience as warriors, to never give up on anything or anyone. Thank you.
Now, if the bachelor degree candidates would please stand.
Mr. President, the individuals now presented to you have completed all of the requirements for the degrees of Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Science. At the request of the faculty of Naropa University and on their behalf, I present them to you for the awarding of those degrees.
Upon successful completion of degree requirements by the authority vested in me, I confer on you the degree of Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Fine Arts with all of the rights and privileges appertaining thereto. So please be seated for a moment.
Concentrations in Transpersonal and Humanistic and Health and Healing, Emma Grace Arbor. Contemplative Psychology and Traditional Eastern Arts, Concentration in Transpersonal and Humanistic Psychology and Tai Chi Chuan, Christopher John Umabale Losi. Early Childhood Education